I think we can begin.
Yeah, thanks, Anand. And maybe if I can,
So, Sangeeta, you can come in.
Good evening, everyone. We are gathered here for the 16th episode of our Industry Connect series. Work is changing fast thanks to technology and globalization, and that's why skills matter so much. Today, we have a special guest who is here to talk about why skills are vital for both IT and non IT professionals in today's job market. He is the Director of Human Resources at Avantor. Let's welcome Mr. Santosh Mani. Welcome to the session, sir.
thank you.
To introduce the session and the speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Anand Damas, General Manager and Head of Product at SkillActz. Finally, I welcome all others who are present here today. Let's make this an interactive
Yeah,
session. Students, please take note that a Google form will be shared at the end of the session. Kindly fill out the Google form to receive certificate of participation. Anand, sir.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Good evening to everyone. Nice to have everyone back. At least we have been having some people who have been attending these sessions. Every time we organize. So good to have few of the regulars back, and also a very warm welcome to all the others also. Just to introduce our company and what we do. So SkillActz is a fresher hiring platform. On the one side we help freshers to get their first job. On the other side, we also help companies to hire freshers. That's what we do. And this Industry Connect series is part of our efforts to bring to our youngsters opportunities to interact with people from the industry, understand about the world of work, and so that they can prepare themselves in a much better way for the when they start working. So these are opportunities which we haven't had when I was a student, and therefore I hope more people would make use of such opportunities. You should also tell your friends to participate in these, and we have a lot of opportunities in various forums these days. So let us make use of that. And today, we have our guest, Mr. Santosh Mani, to tell you a little bit about him. He has been an HR professional throughout his career. After his Master of Public, Personal Management, he has been working in various firms in India in increasing capacities within the HR function. Previously, he has been part of Suntech and various the Otis, the elevator company, and he was AVP of HR operations at Barclays. You might know about the Barclays Bank. So their technology center in India, and later he was vice president HR and talent acquisition at Zafin Software Center of Excellence here in Trivandrum, and right now he is director of HR at VWR. VWR, you might know, is part of the Avantor group, which is very large. As in, it's one of the Fortune 500 companies and engaged in in the pharmaceutical, biotechnology, industrial, and various similar advanced technologies, chemicals, and material. So, a lot of scientists and people like that working in that company. So, very exciting work which they are doing, and he is a director of HR there. I take this opportunity to welcome you to this, and without much in further in terms of introduction, let's get into it. I wanted to add one request to all the participants that we can make this interactive. If you have something to ask in between, if you want, you can that press that raise your hand button, or you can save your questions for the end, or you can type it in chat, and then we can bring it up, whatever. Let us make this interactive, and that is how we will make most use of this kind of sessions. So let's start, Mr. Santosh Mani.
Yeah, thank you, Anand, and thank you, Meena and Purnima, for extending this occasion to me to kind of address the young associates who's looking forward for making a career for themselves in the future. And I'm pretty much excited, and I love talking to the young graduates, definitely, and I look forward for their career and how they can probably manage themselves in the future. So thank you so much, Anand. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks, Anand, for for the brief about company called as Avantor. We are a kind of a life sciences company, and we are advancing life sciences on a daily basis. We our unique mission is setting science in motion to create a better world. And Avantor, as such, is an old company of about 150 years old. While they acquired VWR, which was also again 150 plus year old company, so they have been in this business for the last almost so many years. And from discovery to delivery is what we are, and we looked as a trusted global partner for many customers in the life sciences. Today, Avantor is a 500 billion Fortune 500 company. Our end markets, basically being a life sciences, is into biopharma, the healthcare industry, the education and government, the advanced technologies and applied materials. The offerings from Avantor basically is equipment and instrumentation, materials and consumables, services and specialty procurement. And our scale of operations is around 225,000 customer location in almost 180 countries, some 200 plus manufacturing and distribution service around the globe. Um, we we have a large access to our scientists who are sitting and developing new products or or enhancing new products. We have a diversified portfolio of more than 6 million products, and deep quality and with a regulatory expertise. And three regions which we strongly serve is the EMEA, the Americas, and the Europe. And across, we have close to 12 innovation centers. What we are, global life sciences leader, we keep life changing and science moving forward. Research and discovery, development and scale up, manufacturing and delivery. One of the major highlights for us, Avantor as a company, was while COVID had stuck us, and across the globe, there was a time when we were looking to manufacturing the vaccine and to come out with a stable vaccine. Avantor did supply one of the critical part of the vaccine manufacture for manufacturing vaccine for the three leading global players who came out with it. One of them, of course, you probably might be knowing, is the Covishield part, which was. So what we did was that we supplied a special product which is called as the mRNA, which is very much useful and required for creating any vaccines, and that's the base of it. So a small highlight of Avantor, how it supported during the COVID. Global footprint. Today we are about in uh, globally we are about in 30 countries, and some of our significant facilities are all certified CGMP facilities. Basically, you will not understand. These are basically high standard quality manufacturing facilities, and chemicals manufactured here doesn't go through any more other quality checks when it has to be transported is anything which requires to manufacturing, for example, vaccines part of it, cell and gene therapies, and then single uses dosages, which we probably would have got it in a lifetime. For example, when a child is born, there are a couple of vaccines which is given, and some of those vaccines are single use, what we call. And then there is the single use products. Basically, for single use products like something like a gloves which you use and put it aside, or maybe syringes which is used only one time. Healthcare, of course, more from a drug delivery, medical implants, diagnostics, and the general healthcare sector is what we are into. Education and government is another sector, and of course, more from an education perspective, there's a lot of academic research, laboratory research, quality control, and environmental testings which are done. We also ensure that we set up high quality laboratories for the scientists to work in. More from an advanced technology center, we are in the aviation and defense space, semiconductor industries, and optoelectronics and electronics industries. One small example would be your implantable silicon chips, which is used for your computers or maybe for implant in the bodies. What are our values? Basically, it's very simple for us, eye care, and this is something which I would also love you people to take it with you. What does eye care all mean about? It's like being innovation, C being customer centricity, A accountability, R respect and excellence. Very simple. It definitely loves helps us to kind of move forward with whatever we are doing. And then if whatever you're doing, ensure that if you're bringing in eye care, I think it's always going to be successful in whatever strategy you built in. Our brands, of course, some of this probably you might have seen and probably you might be knowing about it. Benispera is something which is commonly found in the laboratories across India. JT Baker or Nucils are very old products basically, and they have been in the production for almost 60, 70 years, and these are pretty much common products which you will find across the globe. And Benisphere is one product which you will find in India in some of these laboratories or the testing facilities which you have. Now, careers in Avantor. Uh, since in India we have a center of excellence, what we call as the Avantor's Business Center, which supports the global services across the 30 countries, and we have uh, a kind of an ITS sector which is getting supported from Coimbatore and Pune, as well as we have something in Mauritius and Bucharest. More importantly, the what we kind of support is through our 1,600 associates is basically on the IT front, the service desk, the customer service, the supply chain, quality and regulatory part. And one of the main aim is how we can serve Avantor through one location or one supporting the IT or ITS enabled function through one center, although centers in different countries which has been established. And we are doing pretty well. And there is a lot of some of the major job positions which you will find in our website, which is always open, and we look forward for people to join us, are into the order to cash area, which is kind of a customer service jobs, procure to pay, accounts to record. Basically, in the finance sector, we have the finance analysis, we have the accounting, we have the reporting, etc. Then the IT services, right from the IT help desk to development to SAP to ERP, is all what we have today, and that forms our close to 1,500 associates in India. Any questions? If not, I'll just move across to the next slide. And pertinently, basically, uh, it is going to talk about um, more about how we need to be getting ready for ourselves for the future. Um, Anand, if I have to know what could be the background of the students out here today?
uh, uh, both engineering as well as arts and science background
Okay,
students.
okay. And it's going to be very difficult to particularly go into each stream and explain. So what I've done is I've just come up with a one slide, the skills which you probably require, and that how it needs to be enhanced. Typically, a a very small four pointers that how you need to be ready basically, and that's more in very much important in a life. And of course, when you are looking forward for a career, and then you are looking for a career for some reason or the other, and one of those reasons is that you are trying to achieve your goal. So one important thing, always become a visionary. Think about 5 to 10 years beyond what you're going to be basically. What is that you want to achieve? From there, work backwards to see what you need what you need to accomplish to reach there. To be to understand your primary area of interest. So that's more important. Where is that you would like to make a mark? Sometimes we have all seen that I'm pretty much forced into a IT career which I don't want. Now, that's not the end of the road basically. If you don't don't like IT, probably you can always move out into the different stream. So that is where you have to make yourself ready and understand what is the primary area of interest, and where do you would like to identify yourself professionally. Of course, it's a long journey. The initial part would be at how to find out a job. How can I get into a job? Now, I know Trinity is doing a great, fantastic job making you all ready by giving you in different skills. And one of the important skills is communication skills, basically. And while you set up your goal, you need to be able to communicate with yourself, with others, and be very clear in what you're looking forward for. Uh, if this is something which I want to achieve, break that down into at least five things, basically. One important thing is I always suggest and I always advise, ask yourself those five whys. Five whys is nothing but ask yourself why I want this. If I want this, what I'm going to do with this, where am I going to reach by taking this. I'm just giving an example. So break down each of your questions into five whys. And that five whys will always help you to put across your goals in perspective. So that is how you will establish what you are basically, and what you are at present. Once you understand where you are in the present, and then when you start communicating with others, basically, when I say others, it could be through your seniors, through your professors, through your people, known people in your family, saying that what is that they do, what is that you have to do. And I would suggest that when you are learning certain skills, it's very important that we need to keep on practicing. Without practice, nothing comes out. entering into a job, three things is very important more from a basic skilling perspective. One, everybody looks forward that you should be skilled in Excel. So at least start with your basic part, at least reach to the intermediate part, so that when you join any organization, you are not afraid to see the amount of data which you have to work upon. So you have to, so one is very basic, and I think everybody should somehow the other learn that in some form the other, irrespective whichever background you are coming, whether it is IT, arts, commerce, science. Learn about the Excel skill. And now how can you excel in your Excel skill is polishing a little bit about your basic arithmetics which you would have studied in your 8th standard or 9th standard in during your school days. So while developing your career, it is also important to look back, because certain things which you would have learned in your school days will always come out, because that's your fundamental base. So always polish your old knowledge part or revisit those knowledge basically. The other one is how to utilize a document called as Word. Using Word is very important, because that's one area where most of the organization look forward that you should be very ready, you should be knowing about all this. The other one, third, would be learning to create some basic presentations basically. Now all these three is an important element of the communication skills. Learning learning to create a small PPT is coming from your communication skills, because in a PPT you have to show your story basically. Yeah. So here is what the story I'm telling you is that I'm talking about my company. I told you about my careers in the company, and I'm telling you, if you have to get into those careers, what you need to do. So that's a small story which I'm trying to address out here. Learn about read a lot. When I say read a lot, of course we all are today engaged with your Instagrams and Facebooks, which is a must. But at the same time, while you have to work, you also need to understand a lot of culture perspective. Where do you get those culture perspective is by reading a lot of histories, a lot of magazines, a lot of newspapers, things, etc., which are basic knowledge which you are creating yourself. Once you get such knowledge, what happens is basically you become confident. You need to be confident but not overconfident. Yeah. So let's say that today you have learned a little bit about Excel basically. If somebody asks you like, hey, can you churn me out or give me some data crunching part from that Excel, since you have learned it, you will be very confident saying that yeah, I can do it basically. So ensure yourself. uh, I guess there's some background noise which is coming. Yeah. So that is what it will create yourself. So to become confident, you need to polish your knowledge, acquire new knowledge, and see where is that knowledge getting used. There will be a lot of knowledge which sometimes becomes obsolete, but it is never out of the game. You may not use it basically. It is all advancement part of it. A very small example, probably you guys would have not seen those landline phones basically. You know, while you were born, you straight away would have been seeing a mobile phone. A mobile phone has gone such a wonderful innovation part of it, that it has become smart, and it's still getting smarter, because everything you're carrying on your watch now, which has become a smart watch basically. Yeah. So that is where I was kind of telling about our culture, which was our values, which talked about I care. You need to think about how you could be innovative. You need definitely need to be customer centric wherever possible and be accountable for yourself. If you're not accountable for yourself, you have set a goal saying that I need to achieve that, you need to be accountable for that. Respect, of course, I think we all know that how Indian culture expects us to be respectful, and I think we continue doing it. And excellence is what we are always try in excelling in whatever we do. I think all this put together, and I think we should be able to reach the goal which you are looking for. The other one, very important, which I put in a very small uh, words, are be trainable and be honest. Let's be very, very honest, saying that, yeah, I know this skill, I may not be knowing the skill. If I do not know the skill, am I ready to learn those skills basically? Yeah, it might take time, but if it is an important skill, learn it. I think learning is always better than not learning certain things basically. So with that, I probably stop for a moment and I look forward for any questions probably you would be having. Don't feel shy, don't feel that your questions are not relevant. Every question has relevance, and that's where it says that your communication skills, be confident to ask a question. Don't worry if it is whether it is right or wrong. So there's nothing called as right or wrong basically. It is how you perceive the things.
Sir, while they come up with some questions, I think I would like to pose one question because I hope it will be useful for a lot of people. Uh, uh, suppose that if I am a non-technical person, and why should I learn Excel? This
Yeah.
is something which I myself never realized until I started working. So probably you could little bit expand on that.
We all work in a democratic way, right? Somehow the other, it's one thing which has become that almost 80% people are using it. When 80% people are using it, this 20% people who's not using it somehow get forced to use it. And when they start using it, they excel basically. Now, why you should know the excel is basically, as long as, I mean, let me answer it this way. Today, everybody is using something called as your Outlook, basically for your emails. It's basically a Microsoft product, right? In Microsoft product, you have a Word, you have a PPTs, you have PowerPoint, you have Excel, you have Word, etc. So it becomes a package, and wherever you have to use the data, you use it for you're automatically using Excel because it's one of the simplest tool where you can use for the data, not only for calculation, but you can use it for your analysis and things, etc. I'm not sure, Anand, whether I've answered your question, uh, but these are the things which a corporate will always look out forward for when a person is getting hired. How much ability the person has to be trained, basically.
Thank you, sir. I was just also trying to bring
You need
out
to
the
just
type.
learn.
Sorry, sir. Yeah, I was just trying to bring out the importance of Excel. So, for example, can you share how for as an if I join as an HR professional, how it will be useful. So it is the HR is usually considered as a non-technical role. So how that will be useful?
Anand, can you repeat it once again?
If somebody joins in a non-technical role, like let us say HR, in a junior position, how it will Excel will be useful for such people?
Okay, very good question. In HR, what are the types of jobs which you are aware of? One, as a HR person, you have to keep the personal details of the employees, right? You have to you have to know how many hours the person is working, how many days the person is working, which day the person is taking leave. You have to calculate the salary, you have to send the salaries, etc. So if you have to hold the information like personal information, Excel is a known tool where each column by column you can put your the employee's name and the details. And if you have to search it, and if that data grows and grows and grows, with one simple search, I think you can retrieve a lot of data from there. Now, calculation of salaries. Now, there are about 100 employees in your organization. How would you calculate it? There are so much of things which you need to calculate upon, because your salary is not saying that I'm giving you 100 rupees. This 100 rupees is also broken down into certain things basically, and that 100 things has to be connected with your number of days you have worked. That is where I was telling, some part of the basic arithmetics also comes into the picture. Now somebody has worked only 20 days, you're not going to give 100 rupees, right? You will calculate it in some form. So what is that basic arithmetic? For 30 days, I'm paying 100 rupees. For one day, I pay how much rupees? For 20 days, how much I'm paying it. So I put a simple formula into an Excel. It throws out. And in one shot itself, I can calculate it for 100 people. Let it be 200 people. Let it be 500 people. You can create small tools within the Excel if you start becoming very expert, basically. The whole MIS, what we call as MIS, is nothing but the management information system, or how you call my information system, basically. My details, if I have to put across and then do a search, I can get it out. So that is how probably an Excel is helps out. Now, for example, you are not from a IT background, why you require Excel? Let's take somebody who is from a life sciences area. Example, my organization. I talked about 650 million products. Now you need not know the product. You will not know 650 products on your head. You have to store it somewhere. So the thing where you the simple thing where you normally store, and most of the organization will find that it is in Excel. This 1,000 product has a lot of things which needs to be, example, what is its pH value, when it is getting expired, where it is available. So Excel is a tool which automatically and get it. And mind you, today we are in a world where we are dealing with data in some form or the other. So the upkeep of data in a very simple tool in Excel is very much manageable. Does it answer, Anand? Students, any questions?
Plus, sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. First of all, I thank to give opportunity to talk in a webinar. Sir, I have a question regarding about while in a corporate world that AI is all coming to boost up the and several layouts have been happening today. So, what are the skills we have to compete with AI? What are the needs to skills we have to upskill our in the corporate world, sir? That's my question.
Yeah, now getting yourself upskilled, and of course, good question. You have asked a question when AI is coming, you're finding a lot of layoffs, etc. Now, this is the same story which kind of happened in the 1985s, 90s, when actually IT was coming up, basically. When the computer the computers was coming into India, jobs lost. But that was not the case. We have grown from there and we have reached a stage where AI is getting adopted. Now, AI can be adopted in various ways, basically. Not everything is everything what AI gives you is right. I think that is where your domain knowledge in that particular area will support to find out whether it is always right or wrong. Now, I'll give you a very small example. We were doing an external test on how, and there was a question which was to be answered that if you are a customer executive, if there is an escalation which has come to you, how will you address it? The person went and put it into an AI box, got the answer, sent it to us. In one shot, we were able to find out that it is not the person's language at all, because when you start speaking to the person, you'll find that it is not the language you're speaking, basically. So if you start copying AI all the time, you're going to be in trouble. But AI needs to be used in areas where it can help reduce time, or it will excel or manage your productivity in such a manner that the output is always good. Um, One more example, maybe of AI, is that you are seeing a lot of bots, right? Whenever you are chatting, let's say for a uh, customer care with a bank, basically, and I'm sure most of you would have got that experience. When you are chatting, they will say that no, ask me bot comes into the picture. They will ask you what do you want. So you are going on and going on, but finally you will come into a point that what you are looking forward for an answer is not coming. So what do you do, basically? You will still find out a way to call the customer care. So not all the time AI is going to be helpful. It is good, but we need to see how that AI needs to be structured according to the industry and according to the area which you are working for. Definitely, learning a skill how to make AI effective is what you should look forward for. Does it answer my question, your question, Chela?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So don't get scared. So keep on upskilling, basically. If you find that, okay, AI, just find out what are the areas of courses which you could still do an AI so that you can be ready to adapt AI. So many courses are available. Use the opportunity of these available courses which are there in the online.
Thank you, sir.
Questions? I'm told that it's an interactive session, basically.
Earlier,
So,
Shamir had raised his hand. So, is Shamir here?
so this is where I was putting it up. So if you see in my screen, communication skill, one of the important part of communication skill is that you should feel to ask those questions.
Santosh, there is a question in chat. Why don't
Yeah,
you?
how do you handle large data sets in Excel? And I think managing large data sets in Excel are pretty much easier these days. There are a lot many sections. When we have a basic skill, you have an intermediate skill. So when you get into the intermediate skills of pivoting and then probably getting into macros, you can create macros and deal with those sorting and filtering and data cleaning, or you can use the simple buttons which is available on the Excel itself to sort it out and filter it out part of it. Now, when you say sorting, you can sort it out with the largest to smallest, smallest to largest, greater than this number, greater than this number, equal to this, equal or not equal to this part. So there's wonderfully a lot of stuff you can do with Excel. So when you're asking me how do you handle large data sets, I think you can handle large data sets in Excel efficiently by learning more of Excel skills. Mohammed, again, I think the young generation is all bamboozled by the AI world. Uh, it's a wave which is coming where we're all talking about AI. How it is going to compete, probably we are still to see. It will take its own time. Um, Now, if you're asking me, is there any ways to get surpass the AI? I mean, human brain is so creative; it can come out with any innovations we want. Um, so, if human brains have been so innovative to bring in AI, I'm sure there will still something which they will come up, which probably AI may not be all the time useful. Basically, let's understand one thing is that let us not use AI to an extent where we become redundant without the knowledge. Basically, we should not become a kind of a person saying that, "Oh, whatever somebody is asking, I'm googling or I'm going to an AI and checking it." If that trend continues, probably we might become totally knowledgeless. Basically, and I think the importance of reading, upskilling has to be there. Whether it will become competitive, well, we don't know. There could be competition between AI, AI of two, three different companies, but and I think it will move more into a sectorial perspective. In what sector of AI, which domain of AI should be used, not to be used, when to be used, how to be used. I think all these pertinent questions will start coming up. Yeah, I think again a great is it overtaking us brain? I think that is where I said that let it not overtake your brain. So today, whatever AI is doing is one of those knowledge repositories of thousands of things which is available and put it across. Uh, we have to ensure that we are not scared by AI, but we should ensure how you can manage AI basically. Mohammed, any more questions? Does it answer?
Sir, can you briefly tell us a little bit about job opportunities in a life sciences sector generally, and also probably specifically about Avantor, about for people with
Yeah,
background,
I think I would. Yeah,
science background, or also non-technical people? What kind of
yeah.
opportunities would be there?
It's available for all types of people today, Anand. And yeah, one of the most important thing while I address these young minds is that, and who's looking for forward for a career in the industry, is that uh, go through the job portals first. See what kind of job description it has, what kind of skills it is you asking for. Now, if you shift through at least 15-20 jobs of different domain, you will find that there will be one thin skills which is connecting all of them. Yeah. For example, I said everywhere you will find something like that: basic knowledge of Excel, basic knowledge of Word, good communication skill. You know, these are the standard which is put across. Similarly, and you need to analyze that, is that something which I have, is that something which I can improve upon. Similarly, here I would suggest everybody to go through it and see which are areas which you fall into it, and then probably apply. Now life sciences has opened a lot of areas basically. Now let's say that you have created a drug and you have to do some testing on it. So there are research data which you have to upkeep, some clinical trial data you have to keep, some regulatory affairs data you have to keep. For example, you created a chemical. What is the pH composition of that product? So that needs to be stored and retrieved. That needs to be brought. There are product informations which you need to keep. So it called as the PIMS part of it, product information system. Then you are supporting so many of customers basically. Then you are into a small kind of a small finance roles like accounts receivable. You need to find out how many big customers has to be paid from your side, how much cash has to be collected. You have to call the customers, probably old customers, to see how you can sell your products which is there. You have to recover the money or call for the big customers to, if the payment is pending. You have couple of analytics jobs which you will be doing in the finance area, you will be doing in the HR area, or you would be doing in the areas of clinical trials. So all these are a kind of you know job. There is then technical product services, somebody who has done biotechnology in medical equipment side. You need to support those medical equipment, so you have a technical product services area. So all this is are jobs which is available for IT or non-IT sector part of it. And then some of the skills you will always get yourself upgraded by acquiring skills like Excel, basically, analytical part of it. Yeah, Anand.
Got it, sir. Friends, any other questions you would like to ask? I think that is it, sir.
But thank you, Anand. Students, if you still have anything to ask, feel free to ask. I think getting ready yourself, one of such opportunities is such opportunities where you get to ask a lot of questions or things which you have in mind. So always think for yourself and for your career. And if you need to be doing well in your career, as I said, be a visionary, improve upon your communication skills, set up your goals, be confident, and be ready to accept the change, meaning you are ready to accept whatever things you would like to do. I know certain times webinars are not very open ended communication comes up, while in person communication is has its own effect. But I think this is one thing which we have to accept as we move forward. Just like we accepted remote working, remote calling, webinars, I think that's how you also needs to accept those changes for upgrading your skills. Thank you.
Deepak, is there something you want to ask? No, I think so. I think.
Students, I have put a Google form in the chat box. Please fill in that Google form to receive your certificate of participation. Yeah. Sir, can we wind up, sir?
I think I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think
good
there are
in case
any
there's
more
no other
questions.
questions.
So let's then wind up. Over to you, Purnima.
Okay, thank you, sir. So good evening, everyone. And on behalf of SkillActz and everyone present here, I thank our speaker, Mr. Santosh, for sharing his valuable thoughts on how to get ready for a job. And I hope it was really useful to everyone who is already in the job market and looking for a job, especially in IT and non-IT. So thank you once again, sir, for this wonderful session. Then I thank Anand sir and Meena ma'am for making this event happen. Also, I extend my gratitude to students and all others who are present today for participating and making this a very interactive session. And also, I would like to thank Amin and Sangeeta for this technical support. Thank you, everyone. And students, one more thing, if there is any friends of you who couldn't join, please let them know that the recording of the session will be available on our SkillActz YouTube channel. And please don't forget to fill in this Google form.